Hey everyone, it's Ashley. Welcome back to my channel. This video is another edition of Wax Goals. So let's get started. Last month I started a new series on my channel called Wax Goals. And what the premise is I wanted to see how much of a certain collection I could get through in that said month. So at the beginning of the month, I pull everything I want to get through that month, and then at the end of the month, when I do my empties, I want to see how much I've got through. So I filmed my empties videos over the weekend. I did part 1 on Saturday, which was an hour and 7 minutes, and I did part 2 yesterday, and it was 53 minutes. So I had a lot of stuff I got through in August. I'm very proud of myself for achieving as much empties as I did. So I thought for September, since fall is here in our door, football's here, Halloween decorations, candy, costumes, fall has exploded. So I thought I would do a fall edition of Wax Goals, because September, October, they kind of are one big giant fall time. So even though the weather is starting to get cooler in some places, especially at night, I thought that the items I chose for this edition, I'm going to use over the next couple of months. But so I'm going to do one for October, but then I'm going to add more to this collection here. So if you watch my channel, last year around this time, or maybe even a little bit deeper into September, maybe even the beginning of October, I don't remember, I went through my entire wax collection, retail and vendor, and I did a fall collection, my entire collection, which had about 99% of the fall blends that I own. I have a retail version, and then I have a vendor only version. If you are interested in those, go check those out. Last year, they have a lot of views, especially the vendor one did last time I looked. But we all love fall. Fall is such a comforting, warm, inviting, satisfying time of year scent-wise. It's I think most people, if you ask them, would say, I love the smell of fall. I love cakes and cookies and pumpkins and leaves and apples and all of that good stuff, because it just makes, I think it probably makes our dopamine levels in our body make us a little bit happier. That's my opinion. But so I have a good bit here. I'm just going to grab and go. First one is a scoop. This is pumpkin pecan waffles, vanilla butter fudge, and espresso. I was going through some of my wax yesterday. I'm getting some things together to destash and send on out in random acts of kindness, and I'm just trying to organize a little bit more deeply. And I found this guy. I have had this blend many times. This is a tried and true classic. A lot of people like this. Even people who really don't necessarily like coffee could handle this blend, because it's very well balanced with the vanilla butter fudge and the pumpkin pecan waffles and the espresso. I mean, it's just a warm, comforting, inviting blend. This could even be used as a blender with other bakery stuff. So I want to start this one. Love scoops. I'll do all my scoops first. Second scoop is, I actually forgot I bought this one last year. This is Blueberry Pumpkin Patch, which is Bath & Body Works, Sugar Cookie Royale, and Zucchini Bread. I love blueberry and zucchini bread in any way, shape, or form. It can be blueberry cobbler, blueberry muffin, blueberry pancakes, blueberry pumpkin patch. It can be just plain blueberry, and not necessarily blueberry sugar. I'm not a blueberry sugar. It's too artificial candy to me. I'm not a sweet candy wax person. But I got this too because I'm even going to blend this. This has a little bit more kick of the zucchini bread. Of course, this one doesn't have zucchini bread in it. It has pumpkin pecan waffles, so it's going to be creamier in that regard. It doesn't have the spice that the zucchini bread has. But Jen has one of my favorite zucchini bread oils in the wax world. It's a perfect combination to me of spice and cream, and it's perfect. And there's so many of us out there that love it. So this is one. Next one is Pumpkin Peanut Brittle, and today is October 3rd. This is one from last year too. Pumpkin Peanut Brittle is a Bath and Body Works blend again, just like Pumpkin Pecan Waffles is and Blueberry Pumpkin Patch. But the thing is with Jen's oil, it's not the exact dupe. If you're looking for the exact dupe, I would suggest checking out Sassy Girl Aroma. Julie's Pumpkin Peanut Brittle is dupe. And I think the blend she offers is called Pumpkin and Peanut Brittle or something like that. I have it somewhere around this joint. I think it's over in my Sassy Girl collection storage. I try to keep a couple of vendors that I just absolutely love. I try to keep all of their stuff in one area if I can. And other vendors such as L3 I have everywhere because I have a lot of it. So Pumpkin and Peanut Brittle will probably be pulled out, and it'll probably, you know, start being melted this month, or it might even be in October. I melt fall scents beginning. I actually started this year a little early. I started melting fall in July, and I really have been melting fall all throughout August, working on things along with other things I'm melting. But really, September, October, and November is really where I really ramp it up to have a lot of fall blends going in my house. In December, after Thanksgiving, you know, in December into January, even February, I will melt my holiday and my Christmas scents, and still fall. I love fall any time of year. I really realistically could melt fall all year and be happy with it, but then I really want to also enjoy the season along with everybody else and have the pumpkins and the hoodies and the sweater weathers and all that stuff going. So this one here on cold, it smells like today is October 3rd. Which is Palo Santo, Sugar Cookie Royale, and Marshmallow, Toasted Marshmallow, one of L3's best and most famous blends. The Pumpkin Peanut Brittle, it isn't my favorite alone from L3, but when it's in a blend, it serves its purpose. It gives that little salty, brittle kick. I don't get too much pumpkin, of course. It's just an element of creaminess. The peanut brittle part is good, though. So I do like this one here. Another scoop I have, this is Coffee Bean, Pumpkin Pie, and Palo Santo. I got this one not that long ago, a couple of months ago. And this, I saw that scoop and I thought, have I ever had that before? And I don't think I have. This here, I'm getting the Coffee Bean, but it's kind of like pumpkin spice latte from Starbucks. Although the Palo Santo there does give that integrity of the Palo Santo. You know, you have, if you know what Palo Santo smells like, you know what I'm trying to explain. It's the spiciness of the pumpkin pie with Palo Santo and coffee. I will be honest, I'm not a pumpkin spice person. I'm not crazy about a lot of pumpkin pie or pumpkin spice oils because sometimes there's too much spice in it and it really is, it's off-putting. It's kind of, putrid smelling to me, and it's not good. So a lot of pumpkin spice blends I'm a little leery with trying because it's too much, too weird, too putrid to me. I hate saying that word, but I'm just, you know, trying to be honest. That's why a lot of pumpkin blends, I kind of have to be careful with what oil it is, because this one here, I thought if the pumpkin pie is a little bit too much, I could always add more coffee to it. I could blend with one of these other guys I just talked about. I wanted this one because I do like pumpkin pie. My husband likes pumpkin pie too. And I mean, a good pumpkin pie, well spiced, not too stinky pumpkin pie. I got this, you know, just to try, and I'm happy with it on cold, and it's just going to get better on warm. One more scoop. This is another vendor. This is Scoopable Wax Melts, which is Kathy, Rose Girl, Jenny Oaks' mom, Kathy, and her husband, Tim. They came out of retirement, and they are doing a hell of a business now. Their 3 cakes order just closed yesterday. Congratulations to you guys that participated in that. I did not participate in that. I did buy 3 cakes, when it was in a pre-order a couple of months ago because I had to try it. And it's what Three Cakes is cupcakes at Tiffany's, yellow cake, and birthday cake. And to me, it's dominantly cupcakes at Tiffany's. And if you watch me and you know when I've talked about it, I like cupcakes and Tiffany's in blends, but I'm not in love with it alone. And to my nose and the scoop that I have of Three Cakes, it's just all cupcakes at Tiffany's. So it really wasn't all that attractive to me having it blended with about 50 other different things that they offer. She had a really big pre-order, and I remember she said yesterday it was her biggest pre-order to date. And even in her Rose Girls days, you know, back when she owned that company too. So congratulations to Kathy and Tim. This blend here is Luke's Diner. Luke's Diner is also offered by Jenny. This blend is the same. This is pumpkin pecan waffles, pancakes, absolute coffee, and vanilla crunch donuts. And I had never been lucky to buy Luke's Diner from Rose Girls because every time it was either offered, it was in a ready to ship, and it sold out before I could grab it. And it was never offered in a pre-order, and if it was one I missed and all of that. I didn't get my hands on this until Kathy offered it in a pre-order, and I thought I have to get that because it's, you know, it's here, it's not going to sell out, it's a pre-order. So I got this, and it's so good. I actually, before I was able to get this, I had one of my sets of customs from L3. I had Jen and Trish and team, whoever blends on their side. I don't know all the people that they have working there. I had them try to create this, although they don't have vanilla crunch donuts that I know of. And I used a different pancake, but it kind of was the same vibe. Although this here is very rich, it's very creamy. It's got a creamy coffee bakery aspect to it, and this is fantastic. I love this one so much, and it's you know, I like coffee a lot. A lot of these blends here have coffee in them, but I love coffee. Coffee is, I drink iced coffee most of the time, even in the winter, but I only drink hot coffee in the fall and the winter. I never drink hot coffee in the summer. Nope, never, 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 never. And it's strange because a lot of creamers that I have, coffee creamers, some of them don't always translate well in cold. They need that warmth to pep it up, just like wax does. So there are a few, for example, pumpkin spice creamers out there that work well in ice, and some just don't. So I am happy that I have my coffee and my wax to give me that warm hug in a mug, whatever you want to call it. I think that's a Scentsy blend, actually. Hug in a mug. Never had it, but that's what it feels like sometimes when you get a really good coffee blend. Okay, next, I'm just going to grab and go. This is L3. This is Daddy's Farm. This is a custom of mine. I posted about this. I can smell it through the bag here. I posted about this in the group either this past week or the week before. You know, this blend, I wanted to, the last set of customs I did was almost a year ago. I was caught up in October, actually back when I was visiting my family in Pennsylvania last October. I usually try to go back and visit in October, but I'm not going to be able to go this year. I do have to go back there for some things, but I'm not sure when I'm going to have to go. I have to really, if I go, I've got to decide soon so I can get my ticket and all that stuff, but I don't quite know when I'm going to be able to go back right now. So when I was making my customs, I wanted something that reminded me of my home. Even though I lived in several states, I was born in Pennsylvania, and then when I was 4, we moved to South Carolina. I lived in South Carolina for 5 years, and I absolutely loved it. And looking back, I wish we stayed there. But at the time, I was a little kid, and my opinion didn't matter, so I wasn't really asked, do you want to stay here, Ashley, or do you want to move back to Pennsylvania? But looking back now as an adult, I would have absolutely loved to have grown up in the South. I love the South. I love Charleston. You know, we lived right outside Charleston, about 40 minutes or so, in a beautiful little city. And I love the South. I really, really do. So when we moved back to Pennsylvania, we know where both of my sides of my family are from. My parents, they couldn't find a house that had everything that they needed, and then land, property. So my dad at the time had horses and cattle. You kind of need to have a country, be in the country. And I lived most of my life in the country. And then when my parents divorced, I moved with my mom, and we moved into the city, and my dad stayed in the house. And strictly, without going into too much reason, he had livestock and he had a lot of things, and it would just that wasn't something. It would have been probably too much for my mom looking back if she stayed in the home to maintain everything, the fences, the livestock, and everything. It was just a little bit too much. When I say livestock, I mean cattle. The horses had passed away by that time, but I wanted to make a blend that reminded me of a lot of time I spent by myself as an only child outside in the fall, and not necessarily the winter, but in the fall and in the summer and in the springtime. I wanted something that made me feel like I was back at my home. And so I created Daddy's Farm. Daddy's Farm it's based off a blend from Dessa called Haunted Hayride, I believe. And it's mac apple, hay, leaves, and cinnamon. That's basically what it is. The difference is I tweaked the percentages a little bit with Daddy's Farm because I wanted it, I liked Dessa's, but I wanted it to be a little bit more potent with a couple of these oils. So this is hay, leaves, mac apple, and cinnamon. So I love hay. If you watched my L3 haul, I just filmed a little bit before this. I elaborate a little bit more with hay. Mac apple, I feel, has to be done very tastefully. So I wanted, I elaborated to Jen, when you send your email to get your blends approved, I elaborated that I didn't want mac apple to be completely dominant. I wanted to be a nice balance with the leaves and the mac apple, with the hay to sweeten it up, and a little bit of cinnamon. And this blend, when I first got this blend, it was kind of light, and I was sad because I thought, oh, I really had high hopes for this blend. This blend is 9 months old, well, 10 months old now, and I melted it back last year, but then I let it sit and cure for this whole entire year. I actually moved it downstairs to my overflow storage in the man cave, and brought it up last month when I went down there looking for stuff. And it is fantastic now. And this is everything I wanted it to be. Even though my dad doesn't have apples on his farm, he does have leaves, and he does have hay, tons of hay, and he does have grass and just that outdoorsy serenity smell. And I've also said there's another blend by L3 called Riverstone. And if you watch me regularly, and you especially watch my L3 videos, you know how much Riverstone means to me. And Riverstone reminds me of the creek that flows through my father's property. It just reminds me of that. For whatever reason in my brain, I just associate Riverstone with that. And Daddy's Farm, I made for me to make me feel like I'm outside, just taking it all in, and just meditating and being at peace. And even though there was a lot of chaos and a lot of trauma that happened at that home, from the time when I was 10 years old till 6, a lot happened in that time in that home. That's my home. That is where, my father will live until he passes, and, unless something happens, I hope not, but, that's where that will happen, and that is my home. And when I went back last year with my husband, Marty went back with me for a week, and then I stayed another week. We walked up to the top of my dad's property, and he lives, it's hard to describe it, but the back part of his house, he feeds the deer, and they all come in his backyard, and it's just a little oasis for the deer. I walked up the back all the way up to the top part of his property. I didn't go all the way up the hill through the trees, but I went up there, and I sat up there for quite some time, just sitting and staring and just looking and inhaling and breathing it all in. And I smelled I smelled the outdoors and the leaves and the trees and just peace. So when I made Daddy's Farm, sorry if it makes me a little emotional. When I made Daddy's Farm, that's what I wanted. And even though there's a little bit of apple in here to brighten it up, this is everything I wanted it to be. And I've posted about this in the group several times, and a lot of you have liked this blend. So it's been offered. It's not like this is something special. It's special to me because of what it makes me feel and what my mind takes me to think about. You know, I hope that makes sense. So that's Daddy's Farm. Next, this is Second and Spruce. This is That Fall Feeling. So Second and Spruce is owned by Erica Kane from Pittsburgh area, hometown girl to me. I'm from about an hour south of Pittsburgh. So she just had a massive pre-order on Friday. Congratulations, Erica. And a lot of fall and winter blends were offered, but she did have a ready to ship back in July, I think. Yeah, July. I think 7/25, July, August, somewhere around there. And I grabbed another mess of products of Erica's. This is one of those I got. This is Leaves, Bath and Body Works Leaves, Pumpkin Pecan Waffles, Caramel Apple, and Campfire Marshmallow. I love me a good caramel apple. I mean, Cider Lane is caramel apple, mulled spices, cider, fantasticness. It's actually Bath and Body Works too. So That Fall Feeling, this hits it right on the head of fall. You have your leaves, you have your PPW, you have your marshmallow in there to give a little itty bitty bit of smokiness, a little bit of creaminess, and then you have your caramel apple. Love this. I can't wait to chop this. I love the marbling effect. You can't really tell because it's, you know, the pigments are kind of darkened now, but when I got this, it was marbled, and it's beautiful. Erica's wax is soft, like Teddy Bees and Glitterati. So I don't know exactly the types of wax that she uses, but she has a very soft texture. So if you do get your packages from this pre-order and they're a little bit smudgy, that's just what her wax is going to do. And, you know, it chops up and melts just the same. This next one is Second and Spruce also. This is Smoked Scotch Tea. I grabbed this in my very first order from Second and Spruce. And Catherine has been telling me for months about Second and Spruce. And I really was like, oh, I don't really want to bring a new vendor into my life right now. But you know, Erica has a fantastic raspberry oil. And that's really what sucked me in, is because I love a good raspberry oil. So now I'm in Second and Spruce, and I've purchased now 3 times. Yeah, 3 times. Yeah, 3 times. And I am going to be a customer for, you know, the life of her business. So this one is Palo Santo, Butterscotch, Chai Tea, Waffle Cone, and Vanilla Bean Noel. This is a little bit different because it's got tea in it and chai and a little bit of Palo Santo and a little bit of waffle cone. So this, why I liked this one is because it wasn't really like anything I had before. On cold, I get the Palo Santo and the butterscotch. This is going to be a yummy, 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 good, cool weather one. I love a good tea. I'm a tea and coffee girl. I was a barista when I was in high school and some summers when I was in college too. And I miss those days, actually. Okay, do I have any more Second and Spruce here? No, I don't. Let's go to Kay's. Kay's is owned by Carla Meredith, and this is a custom of mine from last summer. This is called Fat and Sassy. This is Apple Caramel Crunch, which is a fantastic apple oil, by the way. This is Apple Caramel Crunch, Bourbon and Butterscotch, and Cornbread. This is this one. So I've used half of this, as you can see. But what I've realized with some of Carla's blends are some oils just need a longer cure time, and they also need a little bit more heat. So I have found in my experience that putting some of Kay's blends in a tea light warmer bumps up the throw. So this one here has had a year to cure. And when this is warmed up, you get the ooey gooey caramel apple, and you get the little bit of bread from the cornbread, and you get a punch of butterscotch. And I really, really like this blend. So I want to use that one up. 2 more from Kay's. Actually, I lied. 3 more. This is a custom that I just ordered for her sale in July. This is Leaves, Caramel Popcorn, and Apple Harvest. This is the first one I chose to melt because this is the one that, that caramel apple is so good. I love this one. I really love this one. I would buy this one again. I really wanted to start this one going because I love Leaves. I love Leaves and I love caramel apple. Sorry, there's something, piece of plastic or something in the wax. I had to get out of there. Pardon me. So this, I really like this one. I'm going to give feedback on this as soon as I get it melting because I think this is one a lot of you guys would like. If you are like me and like Leaves and caramel apple and just apple in general, I think a lot of you would like that one. Couple of singles now. We have Fall Bounty. This is one of the new blends from Kay's that she's offered. This is pumpkin pecan waffles, zucchini bread, and peanut brittle. And this is so good. I did my Kay's haul yesterday. If you're interested, these are 2 new ones. I won't go into as much detail as I did in that video, just for time purposes. And this one here is Autumn Crunch. This is caramel apple, zucchini bread, and pumpkin pecan waffle. Excuse me, pumpkin peanut brittle. So this one is pumpkin pecan waffle, zucchini bread, and pumpkin peanut brittle. And this one is caramel apple, zucchini bread, and pumpkin peanut brittle. So similar, but they've got that, you know, a little bit different fall vibe going on. Okay. L3, this is Cafe Cubano, spiced oat milk, Palo Santo, and zucchini bread. Oh, Cafe Cubano spiced oat milk is one of the best things I've smelled. And you can love coffee, and I really think people who don't really necessarily are in love with coffee could handle Cafe Cubano spiced oat milk because it's not a skunky, it's not punchy, strong like some coffee is. Some coffee can knock you down. It's really strong. But the Cafe Cubano, Cuban coffee is coffee or espresso with brown sugar. And then spiced oat milk is a little bit of spicy, not bad spicy, but it's got a little bit of spice in it, but it's oat milk. So it's got a little oat milk quality to it. Lori Brown introduced me to that blend, Cafe Cubano spiced oat milk, last year. I grabbed a bag. Actually, I have some right here. This is the blend. So I have 2 of these here. This one just has the addition of the palo and the zucchini bread. But she introduced me to this blend because I was asking her, I want a good coffee blend, but I don't want to just get the same old, same old. So she asked me if I ever had this blend. And I said no, but I'll try it. So I blindly ordered a bag. That wasn't my very first customs. That was my second. Maybe it was. I don't remember. I've ordered customs several times from L3. I have lost count. But I blindly bought a bakery bag like this, filled with it. And I will tell you the secret with this. You have to warm it. Don't judge it by cold, because like a lot of you have figured out, this smells good on cold, but it is immaculately beautiful on warm. It's so damn good. I mean, I could just sit there and smell it until it peters out. It is so good. This is blended. It's blended beautifully, and this also mixes well with a ton of bakery. So if you want to tone it down with palo, you want to tone it down with zucchini bread, go for it. Or even put whipped cream in there, vanilla ice cream. You can, the sky's the limit with coffee and bakery, you know, for the most part. So I wanted to finish up this here. It's so good. It's one of the best coffee blends I've smelled, but it also can live in that savory, not savory, but really a rich category and a creamy category, not necessarily just in the coffee category, if that makes sense. Okay, next. This is Oregon Autumn and Riverstone. So I talked about Riverstone a little bit. This one, Oregon Autumn, is another one that transports me back to somewhere in my life. Riverstone is, it's hard to describe, but it's has a mineral quality to it. It's kind of naturey, kind of like the smell of stones, and just it's different. Oregon Autumn is crisp, clean, and fresh fallen leaves with a hint of rain. It's very hard to describe. I would, I know that is how it's described. I don't even know how this blend came to be, or if it's a single oil or what. I don't know, but I have smelled it somewhere in my life. I can't access the memory, and I can't access the age that I was. I've tried to really deeply think about it, but I've smelled Oregon Autumn somewhere in my life. And I don't know if it's something my mom wore or a cream she wore when I was a kid, like a body cream. And I don't know, but I've smelled it. So I thought Riverstone, knowing what Riverstone smells like and knowing what it does to a blend. Riverstone is fantastic. If you're like me and you like just a little bit of everything, if you haven't tried Riverstone, give it a try. It's really good. If you don't like it, then, pass it on or throw it away or whatever, but just give it a try. Oregon Autumn has a big following. Miss Tam loves Oregon Autumn that I can think of right now. There's a ton of you out there that really do like it. I thought to put these two together. This was my request, actually, and I'm happy with it because I get the softness and the powderiness of the Oregon Autumn, but then you have the little bit of mineral, not spa-like, but I haven't been able to figure out quite the word other than mineral and stony and outdoorsy to describe Riverstone. So that's that one. I want to work on that. Buttery gingerbread. I want to work on this. I just got this, but it's like gingerbread, but it's not as potent and sharp in the spice department as traditional gingerbread. I want to use this because I'm working on my customs list. I just talked about that one in my L3 haul, if you're interested on a little bit more elaboration for that one. Rose Girls, just plain old Sweater Weather. Sweater Weather is a Bath & Body Works blend. There's a lot of stuff in it. Apples are in it, and I don't really actually know exactly what else. This bag is 2 years old, and it's strong as the day it was poured. Sweater Weather is a strong, strong, strong oil. Fun fact, the home version, the home fragrance, the candles, the wallflowers, wax, I like. The body version, I do not like. I don't like the soap. I don't like the does it come in body cream? I don't know. It smells like wet dog to me. The body safe version, because not all oils are body safe, and I don't know if they had to do that on purpose to make it body safe versus the home fragrance, but it sucks because I love Sweater Weather, and it's another one that when you blend it with something, it overpowers the blend if it's not blended well. I love this, and one of my favorite, and I should have pulled it, but I think I'll pull it for October. One of my other favorite blends from Rose Girls is Lambeau Leap. Lambeau Leap is Cider Lane, Sweater Weather, and there's one more oil in there. But all I smell is damn Sweater Weather. But I love it. It's so good, and it's pretty green because it's after the Packers. So I love Sweater Weather. It's not one I talk about a lot because I don't have a lot of Sweater Weather blends in my wax collection. But I want to, and I have Rose Girls muted, and even though she does pour single oils from time to time, I'm not ready to unmute Rose Girls because I kind of went nuts, and I have a lot of Rose Girls wax. I've said that 1,000 times, but I do. It's the truth. Okay, this is another small vendor that is close to my hometown in Pennsylvania. This is Fisher Candle and Soap Company, and this is a cranberry pumpkin roll. So if you watched my empties videos, I think it was in part 1. I don't think it was in part 2, but it was in part 1, where I talked about Brittany and her business in Fairchance, Pennsylvania. And I've melted through 2 to 3 of the clams. I only made a small order. My first order, I ordered 5 clam shells and a couple breakaway bars. And then I ordered a couple of candles. She's really good at candles, so I did order a couple of candles, and those are on the way. But what I've realized, I was thinking about some of the blends. The pumpkin oil that she uses, This is described as cranberry, pumpkin, and frosting. It's too spicy. It's very spicy pumpkin to me, and I'm not a spicy pumpkin person. But what I want to try with this is I'm going to melt this downstairs in my kitchen, and I want to really see how it opens up. If the frosting kind of tones down the spiciness, or if the cranberry dominates on warm. Because if it smells like it does on cold, to me, this is just, it's spicy pumpkin. And that's not, I'm not a fan of that. So this is, I'm, jury's still out on that particular oil. And I only ordered fall from her. I haven't ordered any of her regular staples. I know she has a blend called Mountain Mama that is tonka and oud and something else that I really would love to try. And she does, I mean, she offers a lot of other different things. It's not just spicy pumpkin. So that one is still in the works. Next is Southbound. I've only bought from Southbound once, and it was to buy this guy right here. So the owner of Southbound, I don't remember her name, I'm sorry. A few months ago, she said that the pumpkin oil in Pumpkin Cream Puff was being discontinued. And even though I hadn't tried her wax, and I had never bought from her before, I thought, well, damn, Pumpkin Cream Puff sounds really good. I really want to try that. So I bought 6 souffles. This is one souffle in here. I've used a few pieces of it, but this is one souffle. And I bought a bag of bread and jam. And she has several thousand people in her group, so I thought, you know, her stuff's probably pretty good. So I went with it. This is sweet pumpkin, buttery pastry dough, creamy vanilla custard, sweet cream, confectioner sugar, and a hint of spice. So, of course, everything after the pumpkin is the cream puff, which the cream puff part of this is pretty damn good. This is good. And it's a really good bakery, creamy, satisfying custard wax. And I know you can't get this anymore, but I do want to work on this because tis the season. So there's that one. I have 2 more retail, and I have a little bit of Teddy Bees, and then this video will be over. Like I said, this is a fall edition, so this is going to be what I'm going to be working on in my life over the next month to 2 months, along with some other things too. Goose Creek. Goose Creek is not. I really don't like talking about retail wax anymore on my channel because I'm really extremely picky with what I buy from retail wax anymore. I've said sayonara to Yankee. I'm not even going to try with their wax melts this Christmas. There are a few blends that I really like from Yankee, but their performance it's just too inconsistent for me to continue purchasing from them at this time. Goose Creek. I loved Goose Creek candles several years ago. I think I found them in either 2019 or 2020. One of the two, I think 2019. And at the time, I was really pissed off at Bath & Body Works candles because over the years, the candle quality, in my opinion, has went down drastically. I mean, it's not Harry Slatkin working there anymore. His candles and, you know, when he was there working with Bath & Body Works, his candles were fantastic. And that's really what sucked me in, really, to buying candles and really getting into home fragrance was Bath & Body Works candles. And yes, of course, Yankee's been around since the early 90s, and some other ones that are now out of business. And I always love stuff that smells good. I mean, I grew up with incense, I grew up with perfumes and things that smell good and candles, and I grew up with that stuff. So naturally, I gravitated towards it because it's something that it enriches me, and it makes me, you know, I feel it makes me happy. So when I found Goose Creek, I bought a ton of candles. I have a ton of candles of Goose Creek. I went nuts with their large jar candles, which they have now discontinued, which sucks because they were actually pretty good. However, there are some duds that are out there from Goose Creek. I decided a few months back, they had a wax melt sale. I don't remember when, but it was when they started putting their fall stuff out. So it was in the middle of the summer, and I didn't make a haul because I don't want to put a lot of retail on my channel just because I can't attest to a lot of retail stuff, and it's not what I'm well versed in anymore, or, you know, keep up with updates and things. So, but I figured I guess I should say the only company that I really will buy from is Kringle. Kringle has really good complicated quality blends, and I did buy a couple of their Halloween candles, you know, when they offered them last month, and I didn't put them on my channel, but when I start burning them here in the next month, they're Halloween candles. When I start burning them, I'm going to do a candle review video again. I was doing candle reviews on my channel, but then my candle crock had an accident and I had to throw it away just because it was not going to work anymore. And I haven't repurchased one because the one I wanted has been out of stock for months, and I have it in my kitchen downstairs, and I just don't want to buy any old thing. I need to have it to match. So I'm kind of very, very particular, and I told my husband yesterday I really want to buy another one because I was making headway with using 10, 11 candles a month, putting it in my crock, and now I'm not using any because I don't burn candles in the summertime. It's too hot outside, and it's more of a cozy feeling to me to light a candle. So I bought some Goose Creek wax melts. This first one's apple bourbon, which I thought apple bourbon can't be bad because apple is strong, bourbon is strong. So we'll see about the performance of that. And toasty hot toddy. This, I think I have this in a candle. I'm not sure, but Bath & Body Works has an apple hot toddy that is fantastic. So I thought if it's anything like that, I mean, I know this doesn't have apple in it, but I would like this. So I've only purchased Goose Creek wax melts once, and I only have melted really one, and it was a blueberry limeade, and my husband couldn't handle the lime part of it, so I passed it on to Jay. I sent Jay a random act of kindness several weeks back, and it's his favorite one. I didn't know that, so it was the universe intervened there and made Jay happy. So next this is my teddy bees that I want to work on. Would just be crazy. This loaf appeared last month in my wax goals video, and I've been melting it and working on it, but this is my #1 all-time favorite scent in all of wax, period, across all vendors. I love this blend. This is Birthday Cake Pumpkin Pecan Waffles, spiced cinnamon spice vanilla and sugar cookie dough. There's several versions of this, I think, on the pre-order voting poll on Teddy Bees. There's Witches Be Crazy for Palo Santo, Witches Be Crazy for... maybe there's only one on there. Go in there and look. If you like Witches Be Crazy, vote for all of them because you never know. And yeah, Witches Be Crazy is so good. There's that one. Another one is Cinnamon Toast. I had this in my Chop and Chat, in my August version of Chop and Chat. This is brown sugar, cinnamon, buttery pastry dough, and vanilla buttercream. This is going to be a blender for the most part. I want to really melt this with some of these fantastic fall things. And another thing is, with fall, you can blend really, really well a lot of things together in the fall time because they use that same really one giant section of notes. You know, we have cinnamons and apples and pumpkins and of course not so much sweater weather, but you know what I mean, like the fall fruits. You can mix berries together with apples, and it's just pomegranate. There's just a ton of flexibility in the fall. So Cinnamon Toast is going to be good with coffee. It'll be good with bakery. It'll be good with, I would even put this with fruit, such a blueberry, or another berry like blackberry, or a good raspberry maybe, but that might be iffy. We'll see. I have Oak Cider and Woods. This is one I got last year. This is warm mulled cider, cedar, oak, vanilla, toasted marshmallow, pine cones, and smoked woods. This is a nice one. What drew me to this was the mulled cider. I love mulled cider or wassail. There's a wassail blend on the list right now for Teddy Bees. I don't remember what it's mixed with, but I remember seeing wassail. So if you like that, go check it out. This one here is, I've melted it upstairs all I want. I want to move it downstairs to see how it performs down in my open concept. I like this. It's mulled cider, basically. I don't get too much of the other notes. And these next 5 are ones I need to chop. And then that's the end of my wax goals. Okay, I want to start using pumpkin season because it's pumpkin season. This is rich cake infused with pumpkin spice, creamy vanilla coffee, oat milk creamer, brown sugar, and Palo Santo. This is from last fall. This one is, I've let it cure for a year because when I smelled this last year, honestly, I couldn't smell a damn thing in this. So I let it cure over a year. Some of Teddy B's heavy, light bakery scents that have a lot of vanilla and a lot of cake in it, in my opinion, need a longer cure time. Do I necessarily need to wait a year? No, but I waited a year because I didn't want to melt this in the middle of the summer. I really wanted to save this for fall time. So that's why I'm getting around to this one now. So that one I'm looking forward to. Anthony's Cabin. This one is on the pre-order poll. So if you're in love with this blend, go vote for it. It'll come back. This one is birch leaves, citrus peel, pine cones, white florals, vetiver, sandalwood, and woods. This is very unique, but it's outdoorsy. It's crisp. It's relaxing. This was made for one of Tiffany's friends named Dawn. I don't know who Dawn is, but this was made in honor of her son who passed. So I like this blend because of that memory and that what she was trying to evoke with honoring him with this blend. So I like that one. Next is Modern Farmhouse. This is from my very first pre-order with Teddy B's back in February of 22. This is Tonka and Oud, vanilla birch, and Egyptian amber. Not for everyone, so this one's not going to come back very often. But I'm going to try to make myself use this one, even though I don't know when I'll get it again. But I absolutely adore this. This is, oh, it's right up my alley with those amber and Tonka and just those complex, satisfying, different blends. I love that one. And these next 2 are from the most recent pre-order. This is Salem. Salem is Gala apple, Fraser fir, figs, mahogany, and cedarwood. This is a fantastic, bright, punchy apple scent. Man, I love that. It's so good. I love that it's not Mac apple, because Mac apple, I've talked about a ton the last couple of days, I think. I like that she used the Gala because it gives a little bit of sweetness to it along with that apple integrity, but she mixes it with pine, she mixes it with a little bit of wood. I like this one a lot. And finally, pumpkin cookie jar. This is oatmeal, brown sugar, vanilla, pumpkin, sugar cookies, and a hint of maple. So this wasn't too pumpkin spicy to me, which I'm happy about. This one has that oatmeal in there to kind of tone down the pumpkin spice that might have been in this. And I like this. It might be a little light, so I'm going to decide if I'm really going to, if I'm going to wait until maybe October or even November to give this at least, this is poured in June. So I'm going to give this a little bit more time to cure because I know that this one probably needs a little bit more time because it does have vanilla in there. So that's my wax goals for September and probably part of October. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you have a great week ahead. I have some more videos to film, but I'm going to have to do them, you know, throughout the week here. It's Monday evening and it's back to work tomorrow. So hope you guys have a good evening and I'll see you soon.